Are you serious? Are you serious? Pope Francis met with a bunch, 100 Fortune 500 CEOs at the Vatican. His discussion was on globalization, and he's pushing heavy for globalization. He says that the world has to have it, that it's the only thing that works, and that he's encouraging these CEOs of Fortune 500 companies to get involved in continuing the pursuit of globalization. Now, that is the exact opposite of, it's the exact opposite, really, of what Donald Trump, the reason he was elected, the reason the Italians got rid of their prime minister. It's the reason the British pulled out of did the Brexit out of the EU. It's because globalization markets doesn't work. It will only kill the entrepreneur spirit, and it will actually bring poverty. Because instead of saying, what they're saying is everybody should have an equal piece of the pie. The problem is you can do that, but the pie will get smaller and smaller and smaller as you're killing the entrepreneur spirit. Reasons for why people go into business: to achieve, to be successful. If you kill that, there's no reason to take the risk. There's no reason, there's no reward, because it's all going to get carved up equally. People just won't do it. And when that happens, everybody will get the same amount. They'll get a crumb. Just get a handful of crumbs instead of actually a piece of the pie. The pie won't be big enough to get a piece anymore. You'll just get the crumbs. Globalization is part of the beast system of the New World Order. And Pope Francis is pushing it despite, he's going against the grain, despite what the people realize isn't working. The New World Order will continue to push for this one world government, and its one world currency, and its one world globalization markets. And Pope Francis is pushing it heavy. Now, he's also weighed in on fake news. And he said in the same meetings that fake news, that people who follow fake news and are getting involved in fake news are people that like croprophilia, which is a arousal from human feces. So he says that people, so in other words, he's trying to say, and down in there later, is that fake news is anything that's not part of the mainstream news. So he's calling that fake news. When the truth is, the mainstream media is the ones producing the propaganda and the fake news and the lies. And us on the alternative media side, we're the ones that are telling you what's actually taking place. And we're not skirting it, we're not hiding it. For instance, this story alone. Did the mainstream media tell you that Pope Francis met with 100 of the Fortune 500 CEOs to discuss globalization of the markets? No. Or that they're calling you who like to find alternative media, that you're just lovers of fake news, just like a person with croprophilia, sexually aroused by human feces? I don't think you're going to hear this brought to you by the mainstream, lamestream media. And that's the reason we're going to continue to tell you the truth. This globalization is part of the New World Order. It is how the Antichrist rises, the mark of the beast, in a one world system, a new world order. And it is coming. It is called the beast. And its mark. The Antichrist and false prophet would play a part in that. And Pope Francis, as though he might have felt like he wanted to tell the CEOs, look, we need to figure out a way to help the poor, which is what he says he was trying to do. He pushed globalization. His message to them point blank, quote, we must continue the pursuit of globalization. And don't forget the poor. Don't leave them behind. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're living in the last days.